Love is the way I walk, walk in gratitude. Love is the way I walk, walk in gratitude. Today we learn to think of gratitude in place of anger, malice and revenge. Our gratitude will pave the way to Him and shorten our learning time by more than you could ever dream of. And gratitude goes hand in hand with love. And where one is, the other must be found. For love can walk no road except the way to gratitude. And thus we go, who walk the way to God. Love is the way I walk in gratitude. Love is the way I walk in gratitude. Well, thank you for joining me. I'm grateful, having gratitude. I thank God for all the things happening in my life, whether they seem like they're a blessing or not. We learn to accept all things, knowing that we can trust the future to the loving hands of God. Remember that? Love is the way I walk in gratitude. So let's do just that. And thank you all so much for joining me today in studying A Course in Miracles. We're reading from the Foundation for Inner Peace version of A Course in Miracles. Here for lesson 195 for Sunday, July the 14th of 2025. Love is the way I walk in gratitude. Gratitude is a lesson hard to learn for those who look upon the world amiss. The most that they can do is see themselves as better off than others, and they try to be content because another seems to suffer more than they. How pitiful and depreciating are such thoughts! For who has cause for thanks while others have less cause? And who could suffer less because he sees another suffer more? Your gratitude is due to Him alone, who made all cause of sorrow disappear throughout the world. Okay, so what we want to remember is that we're all one, and that if somebody else is suffering, that's not a reason for you to be thankful because you're not suffering as much, because they are you. We've got to extend our hand to help our brothers and sisters. It is insane to offer thanks because of suffering, but it is equally insane to fail in gratitude to one who offers you the certain means whereby all pain is healed and suffering replaced with laughter and with happiness. Nor could the even partly sane refuse to take the steps which He directs and follow in the way He sets before them, to escape a prison that they thought contained no door to the deliverance they now perceive. Your brother is your enemy because you see in him the rival for your peace, a plunderer who takes his joy from you. Your brother is your, in quotes, enemy, because he's not really. Your brother is your enemy in the ego's perspective because you see in him the rival for your peace, a plunderer who takes his joy from you and leaves you nothing but a black despair so bitter and relentless that there is no hope remaining. Now is vengeance all there is to wish for. Now can you but try to bring him down to lie in death with you, as useless as yourself, as little left within his grasping fingers as in yours. You do not offer God your gratitude because your brother is more slave than you, nor could you sanely be enraged if he seems freer. Love makes no comparisons. Love makes no comparisons. And gratitude can only be sincere if it is joined to love. We offer thanks to God our Father that in us all things will find their freedom. It will never be that some are loosed while others still are bound. For who can bargain in the name of love? Therefore give thanks, but in sincerity. And let your gratitude make room for all who will escape with you, the sick, the weak, the needy and afraid, and those who mourn a seeming loss or feel apparent pain, who suffer cold or hunger, or who walk the way of hatred and the path of death. All these go with you. Let us not compare ourselves with them, for thus we split them off from our awareness of the unity we share with them, as they must share with us. Let's look at that again. Paragraph 5. Therefore give thanks, but in sincerity, and let your gratitude make room for all who will escape with you, the sick, the weak, the needy and afraid, and those who mourn a seeming loss or feel apparent pain, who suffer cold or hunger, or who walk the way of hatred and the path of death. All these go with you. Let us not compare ourselves with them, for thus we split them off from our awareness of the unity we share with them, as they must share with us. We thank our Father for one thing alone, that we are separate from no living thing, and therefore one with Him. Wow. Go past that last obstacle, the fear of God, which is really the fear of loving your neighbor as yourself, fear of seeing God in your brother. We thank our Father for one thing alone, that we are separate from no living thing, and therefore one with Him. And we rejoice that no exception ever can be made which would reduce our wholeness, nor impair or change our function to complete the one who is Himself completion. We give thanks for every living thing, for otherwise we offer thanks for nothing, and we fail to recognize the gifts of God to us. Then let our brothers lean their tired heads against our shoulders as they rest a while. We offer thanks for them. For if we can direct them to the peace that we would find, the way is opening at last to us. An ancient door is swinging free again. A long-forgotten word re-echoes in our memory and gathers clarity as we are willing once again to hear. Walk then in gratitude the way of love. For hatred is forgotten when we lay comparisons aside. What more remains as obstacles to peace? The fear of God is now undone at last, and we forgive without comparing. Thus we cannot choose to overlook some things and yet retain some other things still locked away as sins. When your forgiveness is complete, you will have total gratitude. For you will see that everything has earned the right to love by being loving, even as yourself. Today we learn to think of gratitude in place of anger, malice, and revenge. We have been given everything. If we refuse to recognize it, we are not entitled, therefore, to our bitterness and to a self-perception which regards us in a place of merciless pursuit, where we are badgered ceaselessly and pushed about without a thought or care for us or for our future. Gratitude becomes the single thought we substitute for these insane perceptions. God has cared for us and calls us son. Can there be more than this? Our gratitude will pave the way to Him and shorten our learning time by more than you could ever dream of. Gratitude goes hand in hand with love, and where one is, the other must be found. For gratitude is but an aspect of the love which is the source of all creation. God gives thanks to you, His Son, for being what you are, his own completion and the source of love, along with him. Your gratitude to him is one with his to you. For love can walk no road except the way of gratitude, and thus we go, who walk the way to God. So we don't want to, we're trying to learn to give thanks because God's in everything and everyone, regardless of what they're doing. We want to see them as one with us, one with God. We want to approach God and not be afraid of God. In other words, approach your brother and sister and not be afraid that you're vulnerable, that you can't love. Because you can always love yourself, love your neighbor as yourself, and you can always love yourself, which is your neighbor. Okay, what's a new way of looking at gratitude for some of us, perhaps, where we don't thank God because we're better off than someone else. We thank God because we're one with everyone. Okay, well, let's go look in our text reading, and we're ready for chapter 21, Reason and Perception, Introduction. Projection makes no perception. I'll get this right. Projection makes perception. Projection makes perception. The world you see is what you gave it, nothing more than that. But though it is no more than that, it is not less. Therefore, to you it is important. It is the witness to your state of mind, the outside picture of an inward condition. As a man thinketh, so does he perceive. Therefore seek not to change the world, but choose to change your mind about the world. Perception is a result and not a cause. And that is why order of difficulty and miracles is meaningless. Everything looked upon with vision is healed and holy. Nothing perceived without it means anything. And where there is no meaning, there is chaos. So what we're seeing here is that, and this is another way to be grateful to your brothers and sisters, that everything happening in your world is a picture of what's going on in your mind. So be thankful that you're coming again to be able to love yourself and your neighbors and in your brothers and sisters, knowing that it's really your imaginings that are coming out in their actions, in your relationship, and learn to be thankful that you can choose love again, choose peace again, choose an innocent perception, and not revenge and attack and all those negative things. Paragraph 2 in the introduction. Damnation is your judgment on yourself, and this you will project upon the world. See it as damned, and all you see is what you did to hurt the Son of God. If you behold disaster and catastrophe, you tried to crucify him. If you see holiness and hope, you joined the will of God to set him free. There is no choice that lies between these two decisions. And you will see the witness to the choice you made and learn from this to recognize which one you chose. The world you see but shows you how much joy you have allowed yourself to see in you and to accept as yours. And if this is its meaning, then the power to give it joy must lie within you. Can we give things joy? Can we give everything joy that lies within us? Let me get a sip of water. The Forgotten Song, Roman numeral 1. Never forget the world the righteous, end quote, see must be imagined. Not the righteous, the sightless. Wow, I'm making a few mistakes here, aren't I? Never forget the world the sightless see must be imagined. For what it really looks like is unknown to them. They must infer what could be seen from evidence forever indirect, and reconstruct their inferences as they stumble and fall because of what they did not recognize, or walk unharmed through open doorways that they thought were closed. And so it is with you. You do not see. Your cues for inference are wrong, and so you stumble and fall down upon the stones you did not recognize, but fail to be aware you can go through the doors you thought were closed, but which stand open before unseeing eyes waiting to welcome you. How foolish is it to attempt to judge what could be seen instead? It is not necessary to imagine what the world must look like. It must be seen before you recognize it for what it is. You can be shown which doors are open, and you can see where safety lies, and which way leads to darkness, which to light. Judgment will always give you false directions, but vision shows you where to go. Why should you guess? 3. There is no need to learn through pain, and gentle lessons are acquired joyously and are remembered gladly. What gives you happiness you want to learn and not forget. It is not this you would deny. Your question is whether the means by which this course is learned will bring to you the joy it promises. If you believed it would, the learning of it would be no problem. You are not a happy learner because you still remain uncertain that vision gives you more than judgment does, and you have learned that both you cannot have. 4. The blind become accustomed to their world by their adjustments to it. They think they know their way about in it. They learned it not through joyous lessons, but through the stern necessities of limits they believed they could not overcome. And still believing this, they hold those lessons dear and cling to them because they cannot see. They do not understand the lessons keep them blind. This they do not believe, and so they keep the world they learn to see in their imagination, believing that their choice is that or nothing. And the word see there is in quotes because it's not truly seeing. And so they keep the world they learn to see in their imagination, believing that their choice is that or nothing. They hate the world they learn through pain, and everything they think is in it serves to remind them that they are incomplete and bitterly deprived. Thus they define their life and where they live, adjusting to it as they think they must, afraid to lose the little that they have. And so it is with all who see the body as all they have and all their brothers have. They try to reach each other, and they fail and fail again. And they adjust to loneliness, believing that to keep the body is to save the little that they have. Listen and try to think if you remember what we will speak of now. 6. Listen. Perhaps you catch a hint of an ancient state not quite forgotten, dim, perhaps, and yet not altogether unfamiliar, like a song whose name is long forgotten, and the circumstances in which you heard completely unremembered. Not the whole song has stayed with you, but just a little wisp of melody, attached not to a person or a place or anything particular, but you remember from just this little part how lovely was the song, how wonderful the setting where you heard it, but you remember from just this little part how lovely was the song, how wonderful the setting where you heard it, and how you loved those who were there and listened with you. 7. The notes are nothing, yet you have kept them with you, not for themselves, but as a soft reminder of what would make you weep if you remembered how dear it was to you. You could remember, yet you are afraid, believing you would lose the world you learned since then. And yet you know that nothing in the world you learned is half so dear as this. Listen and see if you remember an ancient song you knew so long ago and held more dear than any melody you taught yourself to cherish since. Beyond the body, behold the sun and stars, past everything you see and yet somehow familiar, in an arc of golden light that stretches as you look into a great and shining circle. And all the circle fills with light before your eyes. The edges of the circle disappear, and what is in it is no longer contained at all. The light expands and covers everything, extending to infinity, forever shining, and with no break or limit anywhere. Within it, everything is joined in perfect continuity, nor is it possible to imagine that anything could be outside, for there is nowhere that this light is not. This is the vision of the Son of God, whom you know well. Here is the sight of him who knows his Father. Here is the memory of what you are, a part of this, with all of it within, and joined to all as surely as all is joined in you. Accept the vision that can show you this, and not the body. You know the ancient song and know it well. Nothing will ever be as dear to you as is this ancient hymn of love the Son of God sings to his Father still. And the last paragraph, 10. And now the blind can see, for that same song they sing in honor of their Creator gives praise to them as well. The blindness that they made will not withstand the memory of this song, and they will look upon the vision of the Son of God, remembering who he is they sing of. What is a miracle but this remembering? And who is there in whom this memory lies not? The light in one awakens it in all. And when you see it in your brother, you are remembering it for everyone. Wow, what a beautiful, that ancient song that all of us, we seem to remember it all if you watch a lot of those near-death experiences, very often one of the first things they say is that wonderful feeling. It's like, some of them it's a literal song that they hear, but it's the sweetness of heaven that's going on all the time as soon as they leave their body and they look back at their body and they realize that I'm not the body but I'm conscious, and they feel so much love. Just such a, well, that's the ancient song that he wants us to hear, the arc of golden light that's always part of us during this world. Don't be blinded. Don't forget that song. Love is the way I walk in gratitude. Let's keep that in mind today. Okay, what else is going on around the world? There's no real major religious holidays that I can find, but it's Bastille Day. I found these on holidays and observances. Bastille Day, International Nude Day, International Town Criers Day. I like to think of myself as kind of a crier for peace, for forgiveness, to return to peace and joy by the practice of letting go and letting God. Grand Marnier Day, Tape Measure Day, Pandemonium Day, Pandemonium Day, Pandemonium Day. Whenever there's pandemonium, just step back and let God lead the way and say, well, I don't understand what my thoughts have created this outer experience, but I'm grateful that you walk with me and that I can hold my brother's hand and help them along the way with myself. Let's see, a Shark Awareness Day. The bull shark, the Mississippi River shark, it can handle salt water and fresh water. It's the Carcharodonus, is that how you pronounce it? Or Carcharodonus, and that's the genus, and it's a Lucas species. I just thought that might as well learn the closest shark to us, the Mississippi River shark, also known as the bull shark. And then out of edible landscaping, we've got another Asian pear, a Diospirus khaki, and it says of the Gaum Chum Asian pear, this new Asian pear from Korea surprised us with its large flowering fruit. Steve Yoon from Atlanta, Georgia sent Skyenwood to us, and it seems to be And it seems we secured the plant for propagation, but no one else did. The fruits are large and colorful, reminiscent of a russet apple with a red blush. Our tree came into bearing early, seems very fire blight resistant, and a taste treat. Okay, well, thank you, Edible Landscaping, for that. Okay, well, you know what to do today. Take your 2 longer practice periods, morning and evening, for at least 5 minutes, and then all through the day, bring this to your mind and give God thanks for guiding you and for loving you and for having the ancient song that still sings within you be singing within you. Love is the way I walk in gratitude. 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 And today we learn to think of gratitude in place of anger, malice and revenge. Our gratitude will pave the way to Him and shorten our learning time by more than we could ever dream of. And gratitude goes hand in hand with love. And where one is, the other must be found. For love can walk no road except the way to gratitude. And thus we go, who walk the way to God. Love is the way I walk in gratitude. 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 And our word for peace is from the Shona people of the Zambezi River, the Impopo River, and the Save Rivers of Zimbabwe in Africa. And the word for the Shona people for peace is Runyaro. Runyaro be with you. Love is the way I walk in gratitude. Runyaro.